Hello, designer friends. Today, well, yeah, well, designer friends and other friends. Today, I'm going to do how Rowan bakes a shadow map. I am going to, this is Blender 2.79. I'm going to import the .obj that I was just working on, and I'm just going to pick one of the bodies because, Um, now I'm going to put it, see somewhere where all these lines meet. I'm going to try to put it there. So I'm going to rotate it 0, then we're going to rotate it 180 degrees so it looks fine. And before we do anything after that, we're going to go and we're going to put it in edit mode. And that's going to make me mess up things. That's going to make us, you want to put this into editor mode. And see, now you can see on this side we have our UV map. What you want to do to bake a shadow map is you're going to come over here, you're going to click this little happy arrow or the happy plus sign. I bumped this up to 2048. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I screwed up. See, even Rowan screws up sometimes. And I like to do it as white. Whee! Okay. You see there's your UV map. Now I'm going to go back over here and we're going to go to the camera picture. And we're going to go down here. Now, I have my lights set up. I'll show you how I did the light setup. That might help, wouldn't it? So each of these lights, you have to go into object mode. You can right click on the lights to select them, and there's a little light icon. It's next to the chain. Little light icon, and that tells you, gives you a preview. You have your energy. I know I have this up too high. I also know I have the distance too high. And you have this thing down here called samples. I usually go with 30 or 40 for everything, just because I like smooth. I have one on each side to give like a fill. It's a little lower, gives a good fill. I have one for the chest area because everybody likes a good boob shadow, right? And I know I want to drop this energy down and this distance down. See, you see the little line shrinking up, so that tells you where the distance is. The farther it gets away from the thing, the sharper it is. So that's going to make it a nice, more diffused light. Now that you've got your light set with like a 30 sampling, and you've got it set up, I will try to find a way to give you a copy of my lighting setup. You want to go back to the camera. You're going to scroll down, la 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 la, to bake. But you don't click it. Don't press bake until you're in. Right click, select your object. I always forget to do that. Edit mode. So this pops up over here, so you can kind of watch it go. And then you have margins 16. Now, if you got your things a little, your islands as they're called, a little too close, then you can drop the margins. But this should bake. It's got to pop up over here and tell you it's doing it. And see, if you put this back into object mode, you can see it baking, and I have color on there because of my materials. But that's okay. You can deal with color. I can get rid of it later in Photoshop. But then it bakes, and we wait. We bake. You can see it popping up. Make sure the thing that you're baking has not been through the solidify phase, because if you do, or it doesn't have an inside that you're trying to texture, because if it does and it's not thick enough, you're going to get a weird effect that's because it's trying to bake both those layers at the same time. Weird effect. See, look, we're getting a good boob shadow because of that light right there. You gotta have a good boob shadow. You know, I judge clothing based on its boob shadow. I probably should have done not quite so many samples because this is going to make this video a little bit longer. That's okay. So here we go. I know this is a weird shirt. You can look at my shirt. And surprisingly, with all the angles and weirdness to the shirt, it is not have very many triangles and stuff, so it actually did pretty well in uploading. So I'm kind of happy with that. We're like 56% of the way. We got this. I'm try not to show you guys everything on my computer like I normally do. Oh no. But oop, you can see this over here. You can zoom in, and you can see it's getting smoother. See that good boobs? See the, we're just rendering this right here. Got a good boob shadow. Unfortunately, the color I used in Marvelous Designer kind of makes it look like skin. That's not exactly good, I guess. It works for me though. And it slowly renders. Now, if you have the time and the computer, I mean, go for cranking those up to like those samples up to like 3, 4, 500. I don't care. It's not my computer. My computer's like, yeah, 30. We can do 30. That's about it. And it will if you have materials set on your stuff like I do. I have materials, material, material, material. It will show those up. And you're like, please don't. And if you have any cutouts when you have that margin, it's done. When you have that margin of 16, it is going to fill those cutouts in, which is going to be a little weird. So I will probably, when I do bake this as a shadow map for myself, I will probably decrease those margins to like 1 because I really don't want the cutouts being filled in. But there you go. Now when you're done, you're like, ooh, this is perfect. It's the bestest one. And it's, like I said, it's colored right now, but I can take, when I take it into Photoshop to play with it, I can go ahead and desaturate it, turn it black and white. Now that you've got it, go over here where it says image and you got your little star, click on image, save as image, and then you just, wherever you want to save it, I always save all my stuff in kind of the same folder so that when I actually lose that folder, I will be sad. I'm going to name it whatever I named the shirt, and then Shadow Map. And it saves it as a ping because there is alpha to it. And that's it. Save image. Da da da. That's it. Before I stop recording, I will go over here and I will pull up each light for you so you can see. Maybe if you want to, you can see what I have as where it is. I mean, if you want to try to recreate this on your own, I just have it on the axis. And the setting for that lamp is, it is an area. It is white. The energy, distance, gamma, and samples is at 30. The one back here is much bigger. It's a much bigger. So you can see it's a 5 meter and samples at 30, energy, distance. And then these two are exactly the same. They're very large, which makes a good diffuse. And it's kind of below, so it's not exactly on it. It's diffuse, and it's a very low energy. These are all areas, distance, samples, size, and that's it. I'll be around for questions if you need them. Thanks.